One of the biggest problems that I've noticed with working in film and TV and in video projects in general and with different creatives is the amount of health issues that are encountered due to the really long work hours, the strange schedules, the uncertainty, the unpredictability, both mental and physical health in terms of like back pain, neck pain, um, as well as headaches, just very common throughout, and as well as just like mental health issues that people go through. There's countless stories um, of Peter Jackson at the end of filming The Lord of the Rings. There's Heath Ledger, Robin Williams. There's a lot of stories, and there's actually statistics that have been shown in the UK film industry about, I think, if you work in the film industry, your likelihood of developing some mental health condition can rise, I think, by 2x, 3x, something like that, which is crazy, because I've had various health issues before I was even in film. So that was obviously a concern for me. And I suffered with chronic pain for a long period of time after a tennis injury. And I just wanted to understand, what is a solution, or what is something that I can set in place that will help me remain healthy, because ultimately I think the greatest productivity is longevity, and having great health, like that's the greatest enhancer of productivity. Like when you feel like you're in great health, I think you naturally do the thing that is harder for you to do. And obviously there's exceptions, but the thing that I want to share with you today is something that I created for myself, which is a daily health tracker. And I'm going to explain the very simple, practical way that you can apply this and why I found this so useful. And it's so easy to do. And it's like a lot of fun as well. And I've seen the benefits over the last week and doing it frequently and testing out lots of different things. So the first part of it is understanding that health is holistic and often individual. A diet that works for some person might not work for the others. Obviously, there are exceptions. Like if you're having like 4 or 5 Cokes a day, that is not good for you. That is just flat out not good for you. If you're drinking a lot of alcohol, if you're taking lots of drugs, that is not good for you. But outside of those caveats, there are approaching health from a holistic lens and finding what works for you. I like the idea of approaching health on a daily sort of pattern schedule of like what does a really healthy day look like, and what is the optimal minimal of that. I found that habits outside of health, like say sort of writing every day, pitching, whatever, is like sometimes the film landscape can be quite fluid depending on the stage of the project that you're at. So, and creativity, sometimes you feel inspired to work on one project and not the other. So outside of actual career like tasks, what I found more useful is sometimes health habits, and having health as a baseline for everything else. So like the health habits I can do every day. So the way I've approached this, is you'll see in the video when I link it, is there's lots of different sections for different areas of life that I believe constitute to health. The way that I approach this is sort of what is the minimum required amount within these areas? Like what is the optimal minimal? Or a coach who I once saw called it the golden minimum. Like what is the absolute minimum that will create the greatest result? Say, for example, in exercise, it's like, for me, it's like if I do 30 minutes of exercise, that's gym-based or cardio-based exercise every day. That can also include on other days stretching and other things, but that's like as a minimum. In terms of posture, I'll work on posture for 5 minutes if I've been holding a camera or I've been doing different things. In terms of breathing and having the great breathing, if I focus on 3 rounds of 60 seconds of just breathing into the base of my tummy and through my nose, out through my nose. So like I've got mine here, and you basically check it off and you create it for 30 days. And you come up with what habit is most useful for you. The reason why you can check this off on a digital platform, I like the physical side of things because it helps me not be distracted by my phone, and it's satisfying ticking it off. What I like to do is make it very, very achievable. Yeah, I'm going to go through the health habits quickly and explain mine. Obviously, some of these really probably won't suit you and it might be overdone. So you can just apply this and see what works for you. So the first one is scale of 1 to 10. How pain-free and healthy did I feel I was today? So I just sort of give myself a score on a scale of 1 to 10. The next one is more mental health. So this is on a scale of 1 to 10, how much sort of joy, peace, gratitude did I feel today? You know, and like sometimes you can just be grateful for the sadness or for the disappointment as well. So that's, yeah, joy and peace I kind of see as sometimes deeper than just feeling good, you know. But they can also include feeling good. And then the next one, scale 1 to 10, how hygienic was I today? Because I think hygiene's an important one. Like, did I floss my teeth? Did I have a shower? Whatever it is. It's like, did I wash my hands when I was working in the Amazon jungle with these crazy dart frogs, you know, and filming that? Yeah, who knows? The next one is, for me, this was, I think, purpose. So one of the things that keeps me aligned is I do believe health relates to purpose. And when you feel like you're aligned with your purpose, with your calling, with your mission, things, and you feel like the project's aligned and you're doing it for the right reasons or the reasons that align with your core values, I think there's a lot less feedback in the body and health issues. So for me, what that looks like is I created an 11-minute meditation for myself, which I do basically every day, or with this habit I do every day, and I've been testing that out. And then I have one action that I have that, what is the number one action that sort of aligns with my purpose today? Versus thinking I need to, so I find that useful. The next one is breath. So for breathing, 3 times 60 seconds, I count 5 on the inhale, 5 slow breaths on the inhale, 5 slow. So I basically practice perfect breathing or perfect average breathing like 3 times for 50 seconds. And I can do these whenever. I don't have to do them in any specific order. The next one is 10 minutes of authentic movement. What this is there's a lot of research around free writing, and I think it's Julia Cameron, I'm trying to remember the name, but one of these sort of creative books was written about the power, and I think Tim Ferriss has also spoken about it, and he calls it as spiritual windshield wipers. The power of writing sort of just 3 pages and just unfiltering your mind, you know, just you can write whatever you want to write, and you just have the freedom to write whatever you want to write. So I've kind of taken this and I was like, oh, it's really useful to be able to write like that, and I found benefit from it. But one of the things for my mental health that I found really useful is 10 minutes of authentic movement. So what this basically means is like, it's like free writing, but just in terms of movement and speaking. So I generally do this in my room, and it's a bit weird, but I found relief and benefit from it for often expressing the things that I don't necessarily feel safe to express in a public space or setting, because we are socially conditioned creatures and there's certain rules within society that we obey, but sometimes we have these other instincts or more animalistic instincts, you know, that are still in us and still need to be expressed in a healthy and safe way, which is what Nicole Sparks, who wrote the book, she deals with people who have gone through chronic pain, and free writing specifically around things that we are frustrated with and giving ourselves to express the truth of how we actually feel. She has shown as sometimes people's back pain has just disappeared completely, which is insane, you know, and I have felt some benefit and some correlation to that as well. So, but for me, I like moving my whole body. What that looks like is for 10 minutes, I just, in my room, sometime during the day, I just move or express my body, and I place my mind on the present moment, and I just breathe, express, move however I feel like I want to move, and just flow with my instincts, you know. more placing my attention on my heart when I do it. The next one for me, I think this lines in with mental health, is 10 reasons it's safe to be myself and I'm completely safe. So I think psychological safety and feeling safe is so important. And if we perceive we are safe, like often there are things that we think are dangerous but aren't dangerous, and then we can feel this intense stress response. And so many of society's threats are actually not even threats, like our brain was conditioned to see a tiger and run away from lions and all of these different things. But right now, even if you've got rent to pay, it's and you don't have the money to pay it, you're probably still safe. You're still very safe in many ways. So I think that just for me lowers stress levels, is reminding myself that I'm safe and it's safe to be myself and to express myself honestly. The next one is around food and diet. So because of the flexibility of and the adaptability required with certain film projects, I sometimes have to remind myself to eat. If I get really involved in a work project, I have to remind myself, okay, now it's time to sit down and eat. Or if I'm super excited about a project, it's so for me, what I'm doing is not setting some big macro goal or whatever, which I used to do, is just to journal for 3 minutes on what is the food that I'm going to eat the next day? How am I going to eat the next day? I don't have to follow that, but how am I going to fuel my body in the best way tomorrow? So that's the next one. After that is in bed asleep at 9:30 to 10 p.m. Ideally finish work at 6 p.m. So that's ideally I've put in there, so that isn't always a requirement. Sometimes you'll have a night shoot, sometimes you'll have other things that happen, but for me is a general rule of thumb, if I can stick to that. The next one is water, so hydration. So I have 4 times 750 bottles per day of filtered water with a pinch of Celtic salt. And then basically I have those throughout the day, and I aim to tick off the amount of water, because often, same thing, it's not that I don't want to drink water, it's just forget. And I feel so much more energized when I do have lots of water. Next one is, relationships. The correlation between the strength of our relationships and our long-being and longevity is so crucial. So I can often sometimes forget to stay in touch with friendships, family, and romantic interests, because I just get involved in the work and projects that I do. But I always feel better for connecting with those people. So this is a micro habit, because sometimes it's you have work-life integration. You have a long day and you really enjoy the people that you worked with and you feel socially fulfilled, and that's fine. But with this one, what I do is I'm just looking at the whole list here. It's basically just a small message or act of kindness that I send through to a friend, a family member, and then a romantic interest, or if I'm in a romantic relationship, check in with the romantic relationship. And it's just really small and simple. It's not a whole phone call, it's not anything else, but it's just I can do that in sort of five minutes. And then the other one, I've included there an ask as well, because I want to be better. With these, I like giving value, but sometimes I need support with something. So even work-wise and outside of work-wise, is I want to be able to ask people for the things that I want, very directly. So I've also got one ask a day, just practice asking someone for something. Whether that's money from an investor, whether that's inviting a friend for dinner to chat after things wrap or after the long day. Then the next one is movement. or exercise specifically. So for me, this is 30 minutes of exercise, gym, mobility work. It could be sport, just to make sure that I am moving. For me, walking doesn't count as 30 minutes. But yeah, 30 minutes of exercise most days. 5 minutes focused on improving posture. So in between sets or whatever it is like I just do 5 minutes of improving posture most days, like just focused on that. I just think there's so many benefits and energy increases when you have great posture. And like when I've had like bad posture and I haven't moved throughout the day, and it just like confidence just goes down, everything just goes down. Like I wish I had told like my younger self how important posture was, because I just feel when I have great posture, life feels better. The next one is, so this can vary a bit, but in general, move, specifically if I'm working, like if I'm watching a film, then I probably won't do this. Or if I'm in like a movie house, I probably won't do this. Or in like a long meeting. But I can. But is mostly move every 30 minutes for 5 minutes. So if I've been working at my desk, set a timer. Doesn't mean I scroll on Instagram or I go do something else. It's like I basically just make sure I'm moving around for 5 minutes afterwards, like whether that's squatting, jumping. I could do the posture movements in between, but I'm just making sure that I'm constantly moving. Next one, 5 minutes of nature, sunshine, walk outside barefoot. So I think sunshine first thing in the morning is ideal, but I also feel like if I do ground myself and my body with nature every day, I feel like it makes a difference. And I think there's quite a bit of science behind it as well. Like it just relaxes us, gets us in tune. I don't know, whatever it is, but it just feels good. Next one. 5 minute cleanup environmental tech. So I've noticed a difference with this, but I've been notoriously sometimes bad with washing clothes. Like when I was living by myself in Vancouver or living in a shared house, it's like I would leave the clothes until the last thing, and it would just like edge me slightly, or like just like making sure everything's clean and in its place. And sometimes like I really don't want to do it, but if I know that I've only got to do it for 5 minutes, that's chilled. And then just keeping that 5 minutes every day compared to like really building up, and then for me to do it for like a long time. Like sometimes I can do that, but I kind of like that. Then next is, for me, is 20 minutes. This is like my sense of relaxation. Like my habit for relaxing is before bed doing a 20-minute meditation. Currently, what that looks like for me right now is I basically just focus on my breath and sensations, like if a Vipassana scanning, but I also include it with a mantra, just I love you, thank you, to different parts of my body. So if I feel tension in my chest, or if I feel anxious, or if I feel sad, or if I feel happy, or if I feel content, or if I feel peaceful, just return to I love you, I thank you, and just building that sense of unconditional presence and connection to the different parts of my body. This one is new, and I don't think it'll probably, sometimes it can just be involved in the project itself. But whilst I like to stay focused on like what is one project that I want to finish and sort of get it done, and go through sort of the grit and the hard times and do the uncomfortable, boring actions, I do feel like I've benefited greatly from just sort of fun and play, and sometimes that has been the greatest thing for my health. And I actually often start the day now with 30 minutes of playtime. So it's anything that I want to play with. So it could be like, it was watching the tennis highlights the one day of Alcaraz versus Sinner, it's like whatever will bring me childlike joy. And I generally start that at the beginning of the day. And I've been doing that sort of for the last 3-4 weeks. And um, I've noticed I've really liked that. You know, at the start I felt like slightly guilty, like shouldn't I focus on the most important action to move everything else forward? But I feel like if I do that afterward, and these are just things that work for me, you know, you'll find what works for you. And then, yeah, other days it's been like writing sections of a children's book, writing a screenplay that is not the screenplay that I'm finishing right now. So it's been different things, or sharing funny memes with friends, you know, it's just like keeping that playfulness alive. And then the next thing with that, which is like a combined thing, is once a day I want to ask myself, what would this look like if it were fun? So just getting into the habit of, if I approach a task or something is boring, or I feel like something would be cool, it's like, what would this look like if it were fun? Because at the end of the day, like, I want to have a lot of fun with the different things. And like at the end of the day, when I die, I want to be like, man, I had so much fun. You know? Yes, I did things that were hard, that were tough, but I had a lot of fun along the way, you know, and I kept that attitude alive. And I think that also, in terms of mental health wise, is a cool way of approaching things. The next one is, this is more for like my reflection, or say like learning. So this isn't directly to health, but is documenting the journey for 1 minute. So like talking to camera for 1 minute, or this would for me would count as documenting the journey, but just doing something to document the journey. Yeah, and then I can add more, but I would say those are the basics. Like, I'm trying to keep it to the minimum. That sounds like a whole heap and a whole lot, but I've tried to. All of that probably takes me sort of less than, yeah, an hour, sort of an hour and a half each day, you know, and that's like all health stuff done. And included in that is like the meditation helps me come up and think through my day of like, what is the highest priority? What do I want to do today? It helps me visualize things, which I've put in as a link to this. This is a very rough video, by the way. So I hope the audio and everything's okay, but I'm gonna get a camera and everything set up so that it looks more professional, but I thought, stop putting it off until it's perfect and just get it out there, just get it done. And people probably, like, I've enjoyed rough videos like this before. So I hope you found that was useful. So that's the healthy habit daily tracker sheet that you can use and create for yourself. Often less is more, and probably after these 30 days, I'll probably minimize it even more. But yeah, that is something that I found useful. I think there could be like a monthly and a weekly version of this as well. And this isn't like the be all and end all and it solves all health problems. Like, that's not it. Like, there's other videos that I could create, and I could do like a series on staying healthy as a film professional, and TV professional, whether you're a producer, writer, director, working in camera, whatever it is. Like, I think there's so much value to be had in staying healthy. And then the great thing is, like, when you are healthy, you create like this ripple effect of the people around you. And I think that's a great gift to bring to people. Like, even if it makes people feel slightly uncomfortable, like I've definitely had it around some people when, if I'm making healthy choices, it kind of annoys them because they're like, why are you making a healthy choice? Like, drink like the 3 Cokes with me, you know, like, why are you being healthy? But that, I just think there is so, like, health is the ultimate wealth, you know, and I felt my creativity, my productivity, everything go up. Like, I think health is the ultimate productivity hack. Like, good health, like keeping yourself in good health is the ultimate productivity hack. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Again, I hope you found it useful. Please give me feedback, share what you liked, what you didn't like, and Until next time, stay healthy, motherfucker.